I wish I may, I wish I might be alone in the woods tonight. Alright, I finally made it. I've been seeking solitude for a long time. It's been a really stressful few weeks. Last month, really. Just heard the song, It's the End of the World as I Know It. And I feel fine. I feel fine because I'm out here, but I don't know about the rest of the world, but it feels good to be out in calmness and serenity, like I say a million times. So, looking forward to this. I canceled several trips because I had a gut feeling about stuff. And finally, that gut feeling went away. So I said, all right, I'm gonna go camping. And hopefully it'll be a nice night. Well, I hope it stays this way. I have the whole entire campsite to myself. That would be quite the treat. It's beautiful out here, it's quiet. About the perfect temperature you could find these days. So, gonna set up camp. Gonna do a lot of hiking today. You can see in the distance the burro and the cattle. I've heard those burros fight off coyotes. It's a wild sound for sure. Well, I just arrived at camp and I've got lots of visitors that want to hang out with me. Look at all the cattle. And the donkey protects them all. Look at them all. So, yeah, whenever you see those donkeys out in the cattle farms, cattle ranches, they protect the calves from the coyotes. They're tough beasts for sure. And the cattle are so curious, they come over here. That's kind of cool. And it's spot on beautiful out here tonight. It's a beautiful fall day. And look at that butterfly. Look at that sky. Feel that wind? That's all good medicine for sure. I'm on this fire road that should take me to the Florida Trail at some point. And whew, man, I needed to get out. I needed some outdoor serenity for sure. So hopefully I'll see, well not hopefully, I know I'm gonna see all kinds of beautiful things out on this wonderful hike today. I'll keep you informed if anything interesting comes up on this walk. I want to get a lot of mileage in and really get tired and come back to camp and just sit by a fire and relax. So that's the goal for today. Lots of hiking hopefully, lots of beauty and lots of serenity. Alright, Hike with Mike out. In Florida, fall is very subtle. You really have to search for fall colors. And I'm walking through these saw palmettos. Always have to be careful tiptoeing through the saw palmettos because it is a favorite habitat of pygmy rattlers. But a little bit of fall color in Florida. The sweet gums and the maples are always the first to show their color. And then by Thanksgiving time, the cypress trees turn a golden color, which is really beautiful. So if you're hiking in Florida, keep an eye out for the subtle colors of Florida, or colors of fall. You might be pleasantly surprised at what you see. Alright, tiptoe through the saw palmettos again. Back to the fire road. So I always wander off and get philosophical all the time. So there's always detours on my walks on fire roads and hiking trails for that matter too. Sometimes those detours get me in trouble every once in a while. Get lost and have to find my way back. But I wouldn't mind me being lost in this today. So happy to be out here. It's been a very stressful year. And anytime I can just get out here to normalcy, it's good medicine for sure. I'm probably going to ramble a lot because I'm really happy to be out here, so you probably get bored of all my philosophical stuff and rambling in this video. So if you're bored with that, you might want to you know, turn off now and go to another video, because I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of this. Just I'm so happy to be in the wood stuff, and if you roll your eyes and get bored with that, that's okay. Thanks for stopping by for a little while, but if you want to hear my ramblings, continue down the fire road with me. I think I've reached Florida Trail, because I see in the distance a little bridge here, and I think that connects to the Florida Trail. Oh shoot, you know what I forgot? Bug spray. Oh well, it was one of those hectic couple of days leading up to this campsite or camping trip, and I didn't really get to, darn it, prep as much as I normally do. So hopefully, I'm pretty sure this trail here is not really, you know, brushy, so I should be all right. Wow, we're getting back, even though we had hurricanes and tornadoes and stuff. You can see we're still in a dry stage here, because normally this little creek is usually always flowing, and it's dry out there, and completely bone dry this way. So yeah, we definitely need rain, as long as it just comes in regular storms and not tropical storms and tornadoes and stuff. It was a rough couple of months with hurricanes and tornadoes, but let me knock on wood, because I'm superstitious, because I had an old Irish grandmother that was very superstitious. So whenever I say something, I have to say knock on wood. Hopefully things will get better, and we're done with that nonsense for a while. There we go. The orange mark of the Florida Trail. Of course, I have my orange shirt on. It's archery season right now, so just to be safe. And then I think after Thanksgiving, the general gun season starts, and I usually retreat to other places, safer places to hike. But look at that. Very nice. So I'm hiking this Palmetto Prairie, and I can see evidence of some of the archery hunters kind of staking out their flames with their hunting tape. I didn't see a lot of traffic out when I had a park to hike in, but so I don't think there's really a lot of hunting going on today. The only thing I think that it's going to be hunting, because I don't have bug spray, is the ticks are probably going to be hunting me, so I got to keep an eye out for creepy crawlies on my legs. Alrighty, gonna stop boring you with endless rhetoric and let you just enjoy looking at the woods. Dancing in the wind. Earlier, I was telling you guys about the subtle fall colors. I've gone off trail a little bit, which I tend to do, which is not always a good idea, because usually it gets me in trouble. But here's another example. I'm in a swamp here. Here's a beautiful cypress tree. And can you see all the golden yellow colors on the cypress trees? It's a nice fall treat. A lot of folks say there's no fall in Florida. There is. You just have to go out to find it. It likes to hide. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to give you a good tip I use all the time is I always find a really distinct feature if I go off trail that I can find back. So I went off trail, but I knew there was this huge dead tree. And unless it falls while I'm out here, I'll be able to make it back to the trail, which I did. But I always look for a landmark like this, like a dead tree, if I'm going to go off trail. And I keep that in my eyesight all the time. It keeps you from getting into some serious trouble. I've been there, done that before, and I don't want to do it anymore. So, but it's a good trick to have, you know, when you're just walking out here and not using GPS and stuff, because I'm not a high-tech guy. I'm back to nature, you know. Do it the old way. So, just so you know, if you ever have that yearning to go off trail, find a unique, distinct, natural feature that won't fall down in the next half hour, and you could find your way back a little bit, you know, if you keep that in your eyesight at all times. So, just a little friendly reminder. You don't want to get lost like I've had. I've had a couple of doozy adventures getting lost in the woods for sure. Note to self: do not pack kombucha as a hiking beverage because it's extremely carbonated, and I love kombucha. It's so good for you, but I can't even attempt to open that. It's under so much pressure because of the carbonation. So, boneheaded idea on my part, but it's alright. I'm not going too far out today, so I think I'll survive and make my way back down the trail. Nothing like a little airplane noise to ruin the vibe as I leave the little hammock I was in and back out into the sun and the saw palmetto prairies of Florida. Sometimes when these prairies are wet like this and the trails are wet, you'll come across at your feet several carnivorous plants, which are really cool to see. Sundews and butterworts, and they're easy to miss. But when they're flowering, particularly the butterworts, they have some really nice flowers, but they're so small. It's always a treat to see them out in the prairie regions of the swamp. In fact, I need to make it to, there's a place I like a lot called Payne's Prairie. I haven't been there in a long time. I definitely need to get back out there. Maybe I'll do that soon. But the Green Swamp's one of my favorites for sure. Alrighty, I'll stop boring you with my ramblings, give you a break, and if anything interesting happens, I'll film it. I've said this several times, but a lot of people don't realize Florida has two falls, or flowering seasons, spring and fall. And I really like the flowers that come out in the fall. I think they're more beautiful than the spring ones, other than azaleas. Azaleas are amazing, but the fall flowers are more subtle, and that's a good thing. They're mellow, and I like mellow. Being the philosophical, spiritual person that I am, I can really relate to fall now. You know, the four seasons really are a metaphor of life, you know, the different seasons we go through. And at my age, I'm in fall right now in my age. So I can relate to fall now a lot more. You know, it's amazing when you're in the spring and summer of your life. Everything seems to go by so long and you have everything ahead of you. You know, more trail ahead of you than behind you. But then once you get to fall, you start to realize there's less trails ahead of you than there is behind you. And you have to seek acceptance of that and be okay with that, because that's the way the seasons and life flow. And it's like a riptide. You can't fight against it. So just accept the way the seasons move, whether it's the outdoors or the seasons of our life, but they move on. And the less you fight it, and the more you become serene and accept it, it makes things a lot better, you know? And I've learned to slow down a bit. I mean, I fought it for a long time, but I can't do the things I did, you know, 20 years ago, you know. Kind of gave up running. I used to love running a lot, but I'll never give up hiking though, for sure. But, you know, you just have to reflect on our lives, and when you think about the seasons and stuff, and you look at nature, kind of, you see a natural rhythm of how the world works, and it kind of makes sense, and you're less stressed out about growing older. Look at these freaking beautiful flowers again. Nice. You know what? You reach your second spring when you get to the fall of your life. So think of it that way, because that's good medicine. Speaking of life and living a long, long life, if their habitat isn't destroyed, I'm following the gopher tortoise. He's letting me follow him. He's determined to get back to his den. I'll leave him alone now. He's on a mission. That's some good medicine right there. Look at him go. This trail I'm on, and I might actually even make it to camp, is going to the backcountry camp that I love so much. But this time of year, the bears are kind of like feeding a lot, because the last of the food's kind of coming up and they want to fatten up as much, so they're very active. And they don't hibernate, but they kind of like slow down a lot in the winter. But usually October, November, they're pretty active. And I didn't want to be out alone, you know. And have the deer and Dale. I didn't want to deal with the situation. I thought I would not get a good night's sleep, so I decided to do the camp at the car camp and then hike. But I never realized I was getting close. I'm actually kind of close to where I would be backcountry camping, and you know, I just had a gut feeling not to do it. So, but now I go through a series of rolling hills, sand hills, up and down, up and down, up and down, and then eventually I reach the camp that I love so much. And I'll definitely be back, but I just was feeling some bad vibes, and I didn't just feel comfortable. So this is the closest I'll get to it, so I'm happy about that. But I'll definitely be back in the winter time. Just right now, you know, I just want to be safe. I just want to feel comfortable. I want to be able to sleep through the night. So all right, I think I'm gonna head back to camp and relax. But it was a beautiful walk, as it always is, and a nice talk. I talked the whole time, rambled on. But that's all right. I hope I didn't bore you guys too much, but I'm gonna head back to camp. Probably not talk so much on the way back, kind of think about other stuff and just take in all this nature and relax and be mellow, because that's always good stuff. All right, Hike with Mike out. One of the purposes of today's camping hiking trip was to get lots and lots of mileage in and do a lot of hiking. And I walked on the Florida Trail, and now I found this little fire break road which separates the preserve from ranch land. And I'm gonna walk this for a while. You'll notice, you'll see like all these mounds here. They're all over the place. Those are pocket gopher mounds. They come up and stick their head out every once in a while. Kind of like prairie dogs, but the Florida version. And there's lots of them all around here. And then there's lots of these craters here that you see all over in the sandy areas, and they're antlion traps. A little ant will come by here and fall in there, and then the antlion will come up with these huge claws and suck it down. Let's see if I can catch it. No, but there's a bunch of antlion holes and pocket gopher mounds wherever it gets sandy. So if you ever wondered what the devil those things were, that's what they are. There's a lot of tracks here too, which is kind of cool. So let's follow the fence line and see what cool stuff we find up around the bend. It's nice to be out here with the world spinning out of control. You know, humans always find a way to mess things up. You know, but here, nature functions on its own and does quite well without the disturbance of humans. We could learn a lot from being in the woods. It has many lessons to teach us if we'd only stop and slow down and get rid of our passions and our greed and things like that, and fears, and embrace the beauty of nature. It's good stuff. It's always a place that lowers my blood pressure, makes me think, calms me down, and it's a good place to be. It's a good state of mind to be, spiritually, mentally, and physically. I'm loving this. I just want to keep on walking like the walking man. And till I get back to camp, I got the campfire all set up. Sit by the camp and relax. Just watch the fire. It's little simple things like that that are important in life, in my opinion. So, alrighty. I'm going to come out here and see if I can see a nice sunset in an hour or two. We'll see. Uh-oh. I just heard that ding on the phone. Civilization interrupting me. No. Alright, on that note, I'll check back in later. Still walking along the ranch line, the barbed wire, which was invented by Joseph Glidden in the mid-19th century and eventually was responsible for ending the open range period in American history, just so you know. There's lots of sandhill crane tracks in the sand. I keep thinking they're, here, let me show you. They're not good tracks. I keep thinking they're like someone that's like making a little arrow shape to go this way. That's what me and my boys, Campfire Steve and Swamp Camper, do a lot. Sometimes whoever's the first on a trail we'll stop and make an arrow, and sometimes put the time on it to let those coming behind us know you're on the right trail and approximately what time we were at that spot when we made that arrow. It's another good idea to do when you're hiking and stuff. Little things like that help keep you in case you get lost, or helps you find your way to camp or the way back to the truck or whatever it takes. But so serene out here. We have a new flower over here. This type of flower looks like it's in the pea family. Another beauty amongst many out here in the woods. Now I know this trail. During hunting season, when you want to go to the campsites, they make you take this trail along the fence line to be safe. And then this trail here will eventually take you to the Florida Trail and to the campsites. I'll walk this for a little bit. I remember doing this back in the fall, and that trail on the fence line was just nothing but swamp walking, deep water. So, all right, I've been on this trail before, so I think I'm gonna head back to camp and prep everything, any last minute prepping before I start the fire. And next step will probably be a night hike, which I don't recommend you do alone. It's dangerous, so if I do the night hike, I'm going to stay on the fire road. I'm not going to go deep into the woods, but we'll see what happens. I'm just waiting on the sunset now. I want to get a nice video of the sunset. That's a sandhill crane track. Another one there. They're common in the prairie areas, and they're beautiful birds. They're like 3 feet tall. They make like a honking noise when they fly in the air. They're really neat birds. If you ever get the chance to see some, it's good medicine for sure. And they really like the prairies and the ranch lands, so you see a lot of them there. All the cows went somewhere else. I'm sure they'll be back in the morning. Alrighty, almost to camp. Start a fire, relax, and do a short, safe night hike. Go to bed, have a nice rest. Probably do a morning hike too. The whole goal for this whole trip is to do as much hiking as I can, so any chance. I'll sit down for a while at camp, and then I'm like antsy, and I'm like, I gotta go back out in the woods again. So lots of walking, which is good. It's healthy on so many levels. Physically, mentally, and spiritually. Alrighty. And I'm waiting for that sun right there to come down and rest, get a nice sunset. So hopefully it'll be beautiful today. Well, the herd has come back. Hey fellas. And you see the donkey, the protector. Getting their grub before the sun sets. Very cool. Here he comes, the protector. I know, I'm a threat. Hey donkey. Hey burro. It's okay. I know you're protecting them. Protect them from the coyotes tonight. at that beautiful sunset. Gather your rosebuds while you may, while time is a-flying. What blooms today, tomorrow will be dying. Going on a very short night hike. I got my bear spray, but I highly recommend night hikes should be done with the group. I'm going very short, just close to camp, just to see anything interesting, not too far away. Just kind of scan the area around the campground, and then I'm gonna head back to camp and sit by the fire and go to bed. But I just wanted to get a short little night hike in because that's how I roll. There's a beautiful full moon, but it's blocked by the trees there, so I missed the opportunity to get the full moon. But just doing a short hike here before I head back and get ready to go nighty-night. I always go to bed early when I'm out in the woods and get up early because I think that's the natural rhythm that most people and animals are in. So I'm gonna head back, sit by the fire, and probably be in bed in about an hour from now. But alright, I got my night hike in. Normally if I was with my boys I'd be going all night long, but you know, exploring stuff, but it's too dangerous to go alone night hiking. You never know what can happen, so you should not do it alone. I'm only like about 150 yards from the campsite, so that's enough for me. You got to be careful doing night hikes. But I got it out of my system, so I'm okay. Got my bear spray, so I'm okay. But alright, out of my system, back to the campfire and relax. Almost back to camp. You know, on my hiking adventure today I came across a lot of snake trails across the sandy roads. So they're active, but it's starting to get a little bit cool, a little bit less active as the cooler weather comes through. But looking forward to sitting by the fire, just relaxing. It's been a nice day, definitely a good medicine day, and looking forward to a really nice sleep. I had a really good call from an old friend I haven't heard from in years, and he called me and we talked for hours, and I was getting a little bit worried because, you know, I have to worry about battery power and stuff when you're out in the wilderness. So, but I had a backup battery, so everything's all good, and it was good talking to old friends. That's always some good medicine for sure. So now it's time to sit by the fire, mellow by the fire, let the fire mellow, and just relax until I go to bed. So it's all good in the woods.